Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Looking for Love, another session of just looking for the right person, a Generation X conversation between a Gen X man and a Gen X woman, trying to bridge the gap between us to just have healthy, whole conversations that bring us together instead of tear us apart, to just have real human connection without debating each other and fighting with each other. My name is Tray Kearney, and this is my co host.
Lamar Hall.
We missed you guys last week. Well, Lamar was in Texas.
Hurricane.
He was in a hurricane, so he ain't had no power. I was so worried because I was like, not that you wasn't doing the show, but I was worried, like, because you wasn't hosting, I wasn't hearing. I was like,
it was. It wasn't. It threw everybody off because it was a Category 1. And Category 1 historically not really a strong hurricane, but this one like just knocked trees down. The trees got the power out, and it was bad.
It was hot.
Oh, we had a heat index. It was like 105 one day with no AC. Oh,
it was crazy.
I ordered my generator, got here 2 days ago.
I was going to tell you that.
I'm not going through that anymore. I've been in Texas over 30 years, and this is the first time that I'm like, I got to get my stuff together. So
I was going to tell you that. I was going to say when you bought your house to get a generator.
Oh, I'm definitely doing that too. I'm going to get the whole house thing. So
listen, let me tell you something. When you my people, like you my people now. Like you like my brother now. Oh. I was like, yo, when you wasn't like answering, I was like, I know you saw my text, like this girl. Yeah. I was like, listen.
And the crazy thing, like the phones went down. Like my phone didn't work. It wouldn't work. It was like, and the thing, like the city's on so many different grids. So half of my apartment had power. The other half didn't because we were on a different grid. So I was caught in the part that didn't. So it's like, it's just people were going to the mall just to walk around and stand in the AC and stuff like that. It's just it was crazy.
It was hot. So welcome everybody. This is my people. So we just had to talk about that really quickly now. But we back this week. We're here every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the New U Nation Network YouTube channel. And can I just say to you guys, let me just adjust my camera a little bit. This is hair because my hair is curly because I washed it. My sister.
That's how you wash it.
My sister was like, leave it curly. And I'm like, it's just crazy when it's curly. But anyway, I just want to say thank you to all of our viewers.
Yes.
Growth of the New U Nation Network since me and Lamar have been doing the show. There has been so much growth on the channel. We are over 2,800 subscribers. We have one video that has over 80,000 views. Our last show did really well, over almost 300 views, from 100 views to 300. So we just want to thank y'all because we can't do without you. And if you have not subscribed to the New U Nation Network YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button if you're here. And also hit the bell so that you get notifications to know when we are on. So with that being said, what we do every week is we take viewers' questions, and then sometimes we have a topic. And this week I want to talk about sexless marriages after we do our viewers' questions with Lamar, because the video that I put out talked about sexless marriages, and the overwhelming response, Lamar, of men in sexless marriages broke my heart, number one. And we're going to talk about that. But let's get to, because our viewers, we wasn't here last week. So
yeah. They're stacking up. Let's go.
Oh my God. What is going on? So we're going to get our first question in. So here we go.
Let's go.
I've been dating a man for almost 2 months. We always meet in public, and when we part ways, he always kisses me on the forehead or cheek. I asked him what's up the last time when we went out to dinner. He claims he's been practicing celibacy for the last 2 years and doesn't plan to have intercourse until he finds his wife. He also stated we will meet in public until he feels like it's safe for him to be in our homes alone. He knows that has been a downfall for him in the past. I expressed the fact that I would prefer to test the equipment before marriage, being that we are grown and in our late 40s and early 50s. He texted me the next day and said that's not what he's looking for in a wife, a woman who believes in test driving the equipment. I'm totally offended. Should I be? And I think that he at least owes me a conversation.
I mean, kudos to a guy that can control his libido. I'm impressed. I mean, let's play the game. If it was a woman, that's the standard. If you like the man, that's the standard. If you feel like that you want to wait in that relationship is going to be something, and he has a standard. Doesn't have to be your standard. I mean, but you have to respect it.
Don't sound like it's her standard. And she
doesn't sound like she's ready to pop that thing on him.
Question. She said she's offended. Should she be? Because he said that he said she ain't wifey material. Number one, wifey for material for him, I should say. But you tell me, as I'm not a man, so I don't know a man's mindset. So I'll ask the questions from a man.
No, I mean, I don't know that mindset. I wholeheartedly believe in testing the equipment out before you get married. But I mean, he has a standard, and I have to respect it. But is it kind of that he just chose to do this? I mean, you can't go 40 years willy-nilly and doing what you want to do, and then all of a sudden you wake up and go, oh, I'm not having sex no more. I mean, something had to happen. Something had to happen, like
for me, like, my situation is that I'm not letting people test drive me no more.
Right, but he's a man, so this is different. I understand totally from a woman's perspective, but a man,
yeah, because doing the same thing gets you the same result. Like he said, we're not going to meet at each other's houses until I'm comfortable.
I respect everything he's doing. It's just that she sounds like she's not wifey material. She's not the wife that he wants. I'm not saying she's not wife material, but he's not the kind of wife that he wants.
So let me ask you this. Is his mentality, because he said, I don't believe you're the wife that I'm looking for, a woman who believes in testing the equipment. So as a man, if a woman said that to you and you said you were practicing celibacy and she said she believes in testing the equipment, would your mind go to how much equipment have you tested?
Yep.
But I think that's because she's saying I'm offended, but I think that his mindset is, so every man that you date, you're willing to test the equipment.
Yeah, and you're 40 years old. She's basically saying that she has a higher body count than probably what he would like his wife to have. I mean, we don't have to be ashamed of those. You just have to accept it what it is. And when you meet someone who has a different standard than yours, you just have to respect it. You can't change it. He wants a low body count, and if you don't have a low body count, then you're not the woman for him. If
he wants a low body count in this season of her life, right? Because we already did what we did in the past. We can't erase the body count that we have. But in this season of being, she said, an older, late 40s, early 50s, in this season, we even gonna have that body count because we still dating. So if we date 2 men, 3 men, 5 men, 6 women, you adding on to that body count. So in this season of my life, I don't want to add a whole bunch of bodies on my body count.
Right. And we can use you as an example. You have made a decision. This is my standard. So every man has to adhere to that standard. This man has a standard. She doesn't want to adhere to it. So
keep it moving. And she says, I think he at least owes me a conversation. He don't owe you nothing.
He don't owe you nothing. He told you what he wanted.
He was nice enough to text you. Ghosting you. See, this is what I'm saying about women, right? Listen, this is what I'm saying. And I'm not knocking women because I'm a woman, but we get in our emotions. This man was decent enough. She's still saying he owes me a conversation. And this is why I believe men ghost women, because no matter whether you text them and say, hey, boo, from the conversation that we had, I'm not into a woman that's into testing the equipment. So it's been nice. No offense, but I'm moving on. For her, he's still ghosting her. And that's what she's going to tell people. After I told him that I want to test the equipment, he ghosted me. No, he clearly sent you a text message. And now if he doesn't respond to you, it's going to be like, oh, he just ghosted me. No, he didn't. The only way to get a person to stop texting you and calling you is to stop responding. And I want women to understand that when a man shows you, or when a man says, I no longer want to do this, don't say he ghosted you, especially if he told you how he was feeling, because you still want to have a conversation.
Everyone has a season of their truth, and what she's going to tell people is exactly what you said. So a man will never get to tell his side. We never, ever get to tell our side. And I think men that have worked on themselves just kind of accepted what it is and keep it moving. And it just is what it is. He's not going to entertain that. That man he's elevating a little higher than what this woman has ever dealt with. So he feels the need that he's like, I gave you all the answers to the test. You flunked it, and bye. Got to go.
Right, and I respect him for even texting her.
I respect him a lot. I mean, he has a lot of good stuff going on. So he sounds like a man that's done some work on himself. Kudos.
And he knows what he wants.
He knows what he wants, and and when you come up with your green flags, and that's what you want, and you're willing to stand on it, you can't do nothing but respect them. A man or a woman, you gotta respect them. You know, it's just like it is what it is. So
you gotta, and so many women are always talking about I want the truth, and men don't never tell me the truth. But this brother done told you the truth, and now you still mad because he spoke his truth to you. And it's not good enough for you because he didn't want you. And I'm gonna say this, and I know us as women, and I'm not trying to offend us, but I'm just being honest. We can't believe that a man would not want us physically. Like that's hurtful to her. That what? I'm willing to give you the coochie and you don't want it?
Because that is the end all be all of how y'all manipulate us. And once a man learns how to not get manipulated by vagina anymore, then he becomes so powerful that y'all don't want to deal with that type of man. Ooh, just the reality of it.
Early on when we first started doing this, you said I don't give my life force to everybody like I used to. Because now it's like
I've been able to grow a little bit and be able to be in situations with women and go, this isn't right. This just doesn't feel right. Or have company and not sleep together. You know, like, oh, you didn't try anything. I don't have to try anything. I really don't. You know, so it's just like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not here. I have never, ever in my life convinced a woman to have sex with me.
And it's so sad to me to hear us, because when I say us, I mean us as women. And then when you talk us as men, but it's so sad to hear when I hear us have a person who honors us in a way that we're asking in society to be respected. It shouldn't always be about sex. And then when we get that, we feel disrespected because our ego says, I can't believe this man. I'm telling him, I just told him I want to test the equipment. And he still said no. Like, I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, that should be a good thing for you, that this man is meeting you in public. He's respectful. He kisses you on your forehead or your cheek to show that I am into you, but I'm respecting myself. And you still not satisfied. And you're still saying that this man owes you a conversation. Let me say this to you, sis. Number one, you're missing out on a good thing, right? Because you want to give your vagina away. And I ain't mad at you. If you're twickapating and you want some, go find you a man that want to give you some. Don't laugh at me, Lamar. Go find you a man that want to give you some. And number two, he doesn't owe you anything. I just want her to understand that. Leave him alone. If this man wants you, he'll reach out to you. He does not owe you. He gave you the conversation via text, which nowadays that's how most people chat all the time anyway. So don't act like y'all been on the phone all the time.
All right.
But take this one on the chin. And the 4 Agreements, that's one of my favorite books. Don't assume anything is one of them, and don't take anything personally. This is not about you, like Lamar said. This is clearly about his standard of what he wants in his life and what he wants as a wife. He doesn't want a woman that is willing to give her body for a test drive or to test the equipment. So keep it moving, sis.
Yeah, I don't like rejection. I can tell that.
No, we don't. Because we're not used to men, and it's not even rejection. That's number one for her. I want her to hear. It's not rejection. We receive it as rejection because we're so used to uncontrolled men who you can control them with booty, that when one is in control, we view it as rejection instead of an honorable man who doesn't just want you for your body. Like, I would be like, oh, that's so cool.
So I'll spin it like this. She should take this as a blessing because obviously she wants to be a little bit more promiscuous and get busy. And he doesn't. That doesn't equal good sex to me. That doesn't sound like a good mesh of energy. It's like, hey,
boo.
I mean, you might have saved yourself one. You might, I mean, I don't know.
Just boo, go do you.
Yeah,
go test some equipment. That's all. I'm sorry, ladies. We don't mean this in a mean way. We just talk real over here because we're Generation X. So if you just tuned in, You're tuned into Looking for Love. We're here every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name is Tray Kearney. This is my co-host, Lamar Hall. And we talk about Generation X relationships and how we can bridge the gap and just understand each other a little bit better without being offended. And we can agree to disagree on this platform respectfully without cursing each other out. So we're going to get to our next question. That one was good. Excuse me, y'all. Hey, Trey. Thanks for your sexless marriage videos. Thanks for saying what men have been thinking for years. I've been in a sexless marriage for 11 years. About 7 months ago, my wife finally told me she no longer desires sex with me. I'm 49. I asked her, where does that leave me? And what does she expect me to do? She said, do what I need to do. And so, she said, do what you need to do. She went through some of my things and found condoms and is pissed off. I told her, you told me to do what I needed to do. Now she's screaming about a divorce. I told her, okay, but she's leaving because I ain't going nowhere. We have an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old son. I told her the kids can stay with me. Now she's talking about working it out, but I don't want to anymore. I'm no longer mentally in the marriage, and it's not because of another woman. It's because of the neglect all these years. Do you think that I'm wrong? By the way, I've talked to my children. They are adults. They understand fully what's going on, and they are fine either way.
He's not wrong. So, I mean, he's not wrong in any aspect of this. So he did the appropriate thing. He asked all the questions. He got clarification on it. And she was like, do you? Okay. Now you're mad?
Let me say this.
Yeah,
and I'm going to let you finish.
No.
Ladies, when your man comes to you and says, what do you expect me to do? And you say, do what you need to do. Just understand you have just given him permission to go do what he needs to do. And if it's a sexless marriage, whatever it is, if it's money, if it's marriage, sex, whatever it is, do not ever tell your man, go do what you need to do. Just don't do that, because you don't think he's going to take that literally. But if Lamar could correct me if I'm wrong, men take things literally. We will pick it apart and say, oh, he don't mean that. He don't mean that. He don't mean that. Go do what you want to do, Trey, because he don't want nobody touching me. Lamar, please help us out here.
This man did everything right. So his frustration has boiled over. Now she probably sees the error in it, and he's done. He's disconnected. It's been years of this. So you can't neglect him, and now you've neglected him to the point now you've made him feel like he's done something wrong when in actuality, he got the approval from you. So it's like, he's just done. He's checked out. I mean, and all I say is this, and you know how I feel about divorce. It's not the first option, it's the last option. So work at it, try to make it. So if you can't find any happy ground or happy medium, then divorce is the last option. Do not make it the first option, because men have that alone time, and it's a lonely period of time, and you got to fight through it. You got to, if you want to be happy. So it's just, life changes. He has a house, his net, you go to an apartment, you don't have furniture. It takes time to build your life back up.
Hold on. Let me rewind that for you. Let me just read this part. He said, okay. I need you to hear this. He said, now she's talking about working it out. Hold on, wait. I told her, okay, she wants a divorce, but she's leaving because I ain't going nowhere.
Oh, he's
kids could stay with me.
Hey, she's in trouble. She's in trouble now because she done pissed off a man that's like, nah, I ain't putting up with this no more.
Yeah, lady, and he said my children are 18 and 19 years old, so they're adults, so they're on their way out the door. So there's nothing. Usually, for a lot of men, the glue that's holding this thing together is the children, because they don't want to leave their kids. The glue that's holding it together is the children. When the children are 18 and 19, you have boys that you sat down and had a conversation with, and this is what I tell people all the time. Kids know more than they let on. So those kids have seen this sexless marriage or this We leave the sex out of it. The unaffectionate marriage, because I know you're not being affectionate to him because you don't want him to. You don't want to make him think that you're coming on to him. So you pull away, right? Because you think like if I touch him or if I hug him, he's gonna think. So let me just be distant. So your kids saw this, so they're probably like, "Yay, dad!" Like, yes, go get you some, father. And I'm sure that he was able to have a real conversation with his sons because at 18 and 19, boys know. Boys,
They know.
right? Boys is
They know. You know what? It's not fun when you have to sit down and explain why a marriage is dissolving with a child. If they're already affected, they don't need to know. My parents got divorced when I was 7. I don't know why they got divorced. I have no idea. But some parents feel that they have to pull the kid because they're looking for allies or something like that. It's like, don't bring kids. And I don't care how old your kids are. They're still kids. There's a hierarchy in this. You're always going to be the parent. They're always going to be the kid, no matter what age. So stop bringing your kids into these relationships, these disagreements.
I don't think that you should bring them in a relationship at a level of a disagreement. I think that, and some of my coaching clients ask me this question, like, what should I tell my children? And this is what I suggest in my coaching practice to parents who are going through a divorce and the kids are there. I suggest this, and even people who are just breaking up that are, co-parenting. You ask your children, is there anything that you need to know? Right? Is there anything that you would like to ask? And a child or an adult child, because like you said, there always are kids, will ask at the level of their understanding. They'll ask, why are you getting the divorce? They'll ask, is this happening because of me? You shouldn't go dumping anything on your kids. You're all adults. It ain't none of your kids' business, but it is their business because it affects them drastically. So when you are going to talk about the divorce, because they know you're getting the divorce because you're going to leave the house one day, and men need to have a conversation with their children to say, and not say it like this to the kids, I'm not leaving y'all, I'm leaving your mother. But you do need to have the conversation that this has nothing to do, I'm always here for you no matter what. And again, I think that parents should have and his kids are 18 and 19. So I think the conversation should always be, is there any questions that you have for us? And I think that's when the kid asks whatever questions they need to ask, those are the only answers you should give them. You should not pile on so they got to pick sides. You should just say, let me answer your question. And me and your mother and father love you very much no matter what. There's not 1 ounce of love. And I want women to understand this too. Stop trying to make your kids think that women love kids more than men or mothers love kids more than fathers. That's not true. The love is equal. That is his seed too. I don't know why we think as women that because we have the egg and carry that we love our kids more. God designed our bodies to carry the kid. The man didn't decide that. So
we are the giver of life. You carry it. You carry it. We fertilize it.
I couldn't just snatch my edges. We on the same team, bro. No, I'm just messing with you.
I'm just saying that's just the hierarchy of life. It's like, God, man plants the seed. The woman carries the seed.
Lloyd said, I'm not playing with y'all tonight.
That's very simple. That's not hard to understand. You guys don't create life. You don't. You carry life. We create life. Without us, there is no creation. Unfortunately, it's just the way that it is.
I've never been speechless in my life. I don't have a comeback. Not that I want one.
No, I'm just saying it's not meant in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And I think if more men and women understand their roles, like men, take out the trash. Women, you're the nurturer, you're the carer. If you relish in those abilities that's what you're designed to do. Why do you want to do something else?
Because society has gotten us all twisted.
Society has messed up everybody. I'm telling you, it's crazy to look at it. And as we get older, I spend time by myself and I just look at how things are, how they were. And just in my lifetime, in 52 years, it's so crazy. I talk to my dad, he doesn't really get out much. So we talk a whole lot. And he's a shut-in. So he's a hermit pretty much. He only goes out to see family maybe 4 or 5 times a year. So his perspective of the world is only through social media and the TV. That's all he has. So I send him things because if his algorithm doesn't show ratchetness and this and that, I send him stuff and I said, this is what's going on in the world. It's crazy. He's just like, he said, this is sad. He said, this is not what I envisioned when I was a young man, 10, 12 years old, looking forward towards the future. At 71 years old, he said, it's sad, man. And it's
wow. Y'all, Lamar just gave us a whole masterclass on who is who in this whole situation. So women, again, I'm on their side. I just say that a lot of women, we carry this air about us that we love our kids more than the fathers, and we're more important in the process of life than the man is because we carry the baby. And Lamar just shut every woman's nervous system down and snatched our edges bald with that one. I'm gonna go marinate on that one tonight and try to figure some things out. And I owe some people an apology, I think. But
I mean, my daughter's 25 years old, and one of the messages that I continue to tell her, because if I tell you guys all the time, if you know what other women weren't doing, it'd be so much easier for you to stand out. So that's what I do for my daughter. I let her know. I send her the same videos I send to you, and I'm like, be feminine. Men don't like this. Listen to what they're saying. And she's like, I'm listening, Dad. Okay. I said, if you out in the streets and screaming sexy red and all that other stuff, I'm not getting no grandkids, or you're gonna have a oopsie daisy baby or something like that. And I'm not with it.
So, oopsie daisy baby.
No. We get a husband first, and then we get married. If you do it out of order, there's not going to be a lot of assistance. So it's up to you. I listen, and I only take that stance because as a young man, my mother made me understand that it is a man's responsibility to protect himself. So I've made one child in this world, and I chose to make her, and that's it. So if I can do it as a man, it can be done. You just have to have discipline.
Good night, everybody. You have this thing, the Lamar Hall show. Do 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 do.
I had a good night's sleep. I had a real good night's sleep.
I say Lamar chose violence today, everybody. So we're gonna go to the next question, and I'm scared. I don't know what Lamar gonna say, but really, I just really enjoy what you said, and I want some women to get this. That he just said, I'm teaching my daughter the right way, and we are so focused and fixated on deadbeat fathers and deadbeat men that when a man is sitting here talking to us, we miss the message of a good man. And I'm not just saying that is because it's you, Lamar, that you will pour into your 25-year-old daughter and say, hey, this is the order. I'm telling you now, if you decide to go out here and be reckless with yourself, I'm telling you what the consequences to your actions will be. But I just want women to understand that even if your your husband or your child's father is not with you, allow that man to pour into his daughter and his sons. But make sure he's pouring into his daughter, because if she doesn't know right, she's definitely going to do wrong, because she's going to have to figure it out by failure. And if we can avoid some of the failures, because failure is a way to learn, but if we can avoid some of the failures, and if we as women knew what we're supposed to be looking for, the green flags, then we know better and we can do better. Because I come from a home where my biological father wasn't in my life. But my stepfather was very instrumental. He told me a lot of things. I used to do his jerry curl. Like back in the day, they had the jerry curl. And I used to rod his hair. And it was like a 2.5 hour process to rod his hair. And we had some very deep conversations about life. And one thing I just always remember with him is that one time he told me, we were just talking about, women passing gas. And he was like, always remember this, Tracy, because my biological name is Tracy. He said, always remember this. And he used to just always tell me, he said, listen, when it comes to relieving yourself, like if you have to pass gas, excuse yourself. Just get up and walk away if you can. He said, sometimes you will. And this is what I remember him saying so clearly. And I was probably about 17, 18. He said, don't no man want to smell your insides. And that never left me. So when women be talking about, I fought in front of my man, and I'm just like, my stepfather told me that don't no man want to smell your insides. That just stuck with me. And he said, you will have to, if you have to.
I mean, you will, but I mean, it should not be a regularity where you cock your legs open and like, check this one out, baby.
But that's what women are doing, and they think like, oh, you're not really being yourself in front of your man. No, my stepfather clearly told me. He said, your mother, I've rarely ever experienced that with her, unless something was going on. She gets up and walks out, goes in the bathroom, whatever.
I'll tell you this, just from a man's standpoint, is that, like I said, I've been out dating over 8 years, being, single. A man can tell when there's no man present in a woman's life. Some men can play and, use that to their advantage, but we know every time. We know every time. So I started asking because.
What you like? Where your daddy?
Yeah, well, it's like, are your parents together? You don't have to, are your parents
together? Where your daddy
at,
girl? Because you crazy.
You can tell when a woman respects a man. She grew up with a father. She wants to listen. This and that. She pays attention and she knows the hierarchy. She never tries to overstep a man. That's because her father was around. She can't overstep her father. Her father's not going to allow that. I'm never going to allow my daughter to overstep me. So she does not naturally feel comfortable over talking men.
Will blow me down. Mars Masterclass will be $25. Please.
So it's important. So don't keep that. If that man wants to be in a child's life, don't do that. So it's not.
Please don't.
Not beneficial for your child. You think you're doing something hurting him, you're hurting a child.
Yes, you are. And this is what we have to understand when it comes to co-parenting. The only person that gets hurt when a co-parenting isn't effective or isn't right is the child. Nobody else gets hurt. The child just grows up to hate their mother or hate their father or be confused about who they are. Because when you talk bad to your children about their mother, that child is saying that's part of me. Yep. When you talk bad about that child's father to that child is saying that's part of me. So you're telling that child there's a bad part of them, because y'all came together and made that child. So when you say negative things about the mother or the father, you are poisoning your child to know that there's something wrong with me. Because if there's something wrong with my father, just like they say, if your daddy black, you black. If there's something wrong with my father, then there's something wrong with me. If there's something wrong with my mother, then there's something wrong with me, because we gave the kid everything they are. So if you just tuned in, you're tuned into Looking for Love. We are on one tonight. Well, Lamar's on one tonight. I'm just seriously co-hosting this evening, and I'm enjoying the conversation. We're here every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the New You Nation Network YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go right now. Subscribe, hit the bell so you get the notification when we come on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. so you don't miss us. So right now we're answering our audience questions, and we're going to go to our next question. And if you have a question, you can either DM me or you can DM Lamar, or you can send us an email at info@traykearney.com, info@traykearney.com. Okay, here's our next question. My man refuses to go downtown. He says urine and other body fluids come out of there. We've been together for 2 years. He said he has had great relationships with other women without that. I'm not those other women, and that's very pleasurable for me. Other than that, we have a great relationship. I asked him to compromise a bit. He's not budging as of yet. I'm hoping this will change. Any advice? Run.
Well, I think they've had discussions about it, which is good. So the thing is that whether one person enjoys it or not, you should give the person the opportunity to do it sometimes. It may not be at the frequency that he would like. Once a week, twice a month, give him that.
No, it's her. It's him. He don't want to give it.
He doesn't want to do it. Okay.
He don't want to.
So she wants it.
Yes.
So the question is she pleasuring him?
Well, she didn't say that, but she said.
Let's assume she is. Stop doing it.
No, just leave. This is my thing. This is my thing in my life right now. Now, if they're older, this is my thing in my life right now. You asked him to compromise. He's not budging. And you said he's not budging as of yet. I'm hoping this will change. Any advice? Here's my advice to you, sis. If that is something that you want, when a person shows you who they are, believe them. There is a man out here in this world that will do that for you with pleasure. So even if he is willing to do it randomly, he does not want to. So it's not going to be pleasure. I'm just saying, when I do something that I don't want to do, I do it with an attitude. I do it to get it over quick. It's not like I'm doing it pleasure. I want somebody that's down there that's yumming it up because they want to be down there.
That's most married. That's most married women. That's how they approach giving head. So it goes back to this thing. Why didn't they have these discussions when they were courting each other?
Well, sometimes people play the game. Then when they get you,
but I'm saying she should have. This shouldn't be a surprise after 2 years of dating. It should be he should have known.
Right. Well, she's asking him now. This is a thing too, Lamar. You can correct me if I'm wrong here too. A lot of times as women, we think that we can convince a man or change a man into what it is that we want. Like some men say they don't want kids, and then women get with them, and they think that when we get married or when he's just saying that because right now. No, when a man says what he says.
But they've been together 2 years, and he hasn't been doing it for 2 years. Like, why? How long did you go before you figured out this wasn't his thing? And why wasn't this discussed within the first 30 to 90 days of y'all courting each other? Now you're 2 years in, something you need and desire. Let's take the sex out of it. What if it was you wanted flowers or you want your feet rubbed? You gotta talk what you want. If it means something to you, it's gotta mean something to him, or this relationship is not gonna work.
Sis, and this is it. She said, I'm hoping this will change. Any advice? There's only so much hoping you can do. Now he's showing you and he's saying it. Like he's saying urine and other body fluids come out of it, whether he said it jokingly or however he said it. This man does not want to put his head between anybody's legs. And that's his option. And he said, I've had great relationships with other women. Well, you probably did, but that's probably why they're not with you right now because of that. But I'm not sure. It could be something else. But if that's what you want, unless you have two choices. One, I'm never going to get this for the rest of my life or for the time I'm with this person. Or two, just cut your losses. He said he's not budging. He don't want to do it. And you still hope it.
It's just unfortunate that you wasted 2 years. It's just really unfortunate that you waste 2 years of your life because breakups are not easy. And now this all could have been avoided. So take the lesson in this and come up with your red flags or your wants and needs and discuss them within the first 30 days.
Right.
It'll save you the heartache.
It will. But I don't think she wasted her time if she enjoyed the time with him. I just think that you have to come to that fork in the road where you say, now I'm at this fork in the road where we're married. I'm sure after 2 years, you're starting to look into really seriousness because 2 years.
It's getting really serious. They probably live. I mean, they might live together now. I mean, it's
or they might be moving into that.
It's way too serious for this to be the first time that you guys. Now it's a problem. Should have been a problem 2 years and a day ago.
Well, maybe because they are moving forward into maybe living together or maybe married. That's a step there where you're like, I don't want to move in or I don't want to marry you, only to know I'm going to move back out and only to know we're not.
Yeah, I don't think that's right. If you're going to move in with somebody, the end of the goal is that y'all should be together. And that's a hard breakup. When you sharing houses and you got to separate all of that, that's emotionally tough. So again, why let it get to that point on something that So if I know that I cannot go without getting head, so if I meet a woman, you go, oh, I don't do that. We're gonna know that in the first week.
I don't know about the first week, but the first month.
I'm asking in the first week.
Oh no.
I'm not saying you have to do it, but we're gonna know if you like it or you just, I don't really care about it. Cause I do it on your birthday. I do it to make you happy. No. I want you to look at me like, you look like you had a tough day. Yeah. That's just me. I'm gonna find out real quick. if you love it, you know, I listen. It's a joke, and I think I'm a comedian, so don't take this personal. I want you to suck it like you got bit by a poisonous snake, and the antidote is the inside of me.
I think that seriously, you joking, but on a serious note, I think that people have to know that I don't want somebody that's just doing it because they have to.
Correct.
I don't. I want to be in a relationship. Whatever we're doing, we want to do it. It's like the Bible says, be a cheerful giver or don't give it all. Not to put the Bible and sex together, but really that too. Yeah. It says, be a cheerful giver, or it's false, or it's fake, or it's not real, or it doesn't count if you're doing it because you have to, or right. You feel forced. I don't ever want anybody to do anything for me because they feel obligated, like forced, like you got to do this.
Or lackluster. I don't want your half-ass massage. You know, like I want you to massage you like you're trying to help me out. So it's like, come on now. I mean, but again, if you're a person that needs a massage one time a week and you meet somebody that goes like, my hands hurt, I can't give you a massage, I got arthritis. That ain't the person for you then. You're like, like it's just not gonna work. Like, yeah. My hands, I can't give you no massage.
It's not worse than a man with some tired hands. I ain't even lying. Your hands are tired. You only been massaging for 10 minutes. Like, what's going on? Go to the gym. Get your muscles up. Your hands shouldn't be tired.
Massages don't last long. Those are a gateway to a booty session.
Oh.
I'm strategically massaging. You didn't ask me to rub your booty, but I am. Your booty looks like it needs a little kneading. Like some dough. Now, you know, if you like the person and, you know, you're like, I'm kind of aroused. And it always turns into sex. So
you got a plan. So if you're tuning in and looking for love, I hope you didn't tune in on just that part of the kneading the booty. And I mean kneading the dough. We sorry. That's not what we just talking about. Sexual compatibility. Anyway, just go back to the beginning when we get done so you get the whole everything. Just don't think that's what that was. I'm sorry. If this is Looking for Love, we here every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the New U Nation Network YouTube channel. Please be sure to subscribe, share. Sharing is caring. Share with a friend. And we'll see you next Wednesday with a friend. So we're going to get to our last question because our time is running out. Let's get to that. And then we'll do our topic next week because I'm going to get to it. I'm dating two guys. One is a great provider and really low-key, laid-back type of dude. Very grounded, has a great family, but just a little boring for my speed. The other one is great in bed, has the body of a hottie, but is a little inconsistent and doesn't keep his word at times. But the chemistry is out of this world. They don't know about each other, and things are moving forward with both as serious relationships. They both expressed interest in marriage at some point. I never thought I'd be in this dilemma. What is a girl to do? I don't want to hurt either one of them. I'm so confused. Help.
I'll let you start. That last comment, I didn't want to hurt anybody. When you started dating two people, you knew it was going to hurt somebody. So don't make that comment.
Say that one more time.
She knew. She's like, oh, I don't want to hurt anybody. But you were dating two people, and you didn't tell them about each other. So somebody's going to get hurt. So let's take that off. So you go. You first.
I'm gonna say this, and this is because women, we just so double-minded, right? We always come to the table talking about, I want a man to protect and provide. I want a good dude. I want a man who's consistent, has a good family. And now you saying the dude number one has all of those things, but he's a little boring. So go to dude number two and let him wreck your life, and then don't complain to us because you already said his qualities are. Listen, she said, but at times he's a little inconsistent. You put little in front of it. There's no such thing as a little inconsistent. You're either inconsistent or you're consistent. He's inconsistent. You're making excuses for him. Like you said before, Lamar, we make excuses for people, right? And then we mad. Yes, because of our eyes. You say he's a little inconsistent and doesn't keep his word at times, but the chemistry don't pay bills. chemistry is not a solid foundation. If you plan on marrying somebody and having a family and having somebody that's going to be responsible, why are you asking us? Why are you even confused? What's more important to you? A steady life, and I'm sure the other man, is he terrible in bed? And you sleeping with both of them? Because you said this one is Lamar.
This is why men are checking out, because they don't want to put up with this type of women, you know. And it's like, like you said, there's probably women online, they're going, she's stupid. Like, you have the right man, and you're like, oh, he's boring. What makes him boring? It's like, I don't what does she really want? It's like you got good and you got bad. And it's like you want the bad. If you want the bad, don't complain about how your life turns out.
Right. Boring is what? That he's consistent? Boring is what? And he keeps his word? What's boring? You said he got a good family, so clearly you've been around his family. And again, this is what I'm saying. We have to stop as women with the double mind message. You either want a man of good morals and values. You either want a man that keeps his word, or you want a man that's a little inconsistent. A little inconsistent means, I can't stand when we make excuses for people and we put little words in front of it to make it like, what's a little inconsistent? Am I missing? Is a little inconsistent or inconsistent the same thing?
Oh, it's the same. And it could potentially turn into inconsistent and more inconsistent, you know, as it goes on. It's like,
he is who he is. He doesn't keep his word. You said he doesn't keep his word at times, but the chemistry is out of this world. And he has the body of a hottie. If you are more into the physical, then make sure that you're secure in every other area in your life by yourself. Now, if you're secure and you don't want a man to protect and provide and be the head, because the other head is more important than the one on your, because this other guy got a good head on his shoulders. I just get so, and we see, and this, I don't know, most people who watch this show by now should know that, are asking us questions, is that we are Generation X.
Right.
And because we make that clear every week, if you want to ask a question, we Generation X. So we older people who are having conversations, and at this big age, we see these young people on all these shows, and we send each other videos and stuff of these women who would say, would you rather have a man who's inconsistent and good in bed, or a man with $1 million that's bad in bed? And they say a decent man, they say, I'll take the man with $1 million that's a cheater and a liar, right? They say
that's society.
So
that's where we are. That's the disappointing, because you see a lot of that. It's like, you know, would you date a billionaire and he cheats on you, or would you marry a guy that made $50,000 that loves you?
Right.
I take the billionaire. You know, it's just like, that's just where we are in society.
That's what she's saying.
That's what she's saying. She wants the bad. She doesn't want the good. She wants the exciting. But know this: when it doesn't work out for you, you probably will not get another swing at this in your life.
That's two women that had good men.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it three?
Two.
That's two women.
No. Yeah, two. Yeah, two.
Yeah. Three. That's three women. The woman who had the man who wanted to be celibate.
Three.
Three good men that women.
So who's the problem here?
Oh my goodness.
Who's really the problem here?
We're not
women have, their minds have been so corrupted and altered over the last 30, 40 years through feminism, through social media, through reality TV. Women they have no accountability, and the world is not real to them. And they put the standards on men, and men are like, this doesn't make any sense. And men are checking out. And it's going to be less and less. Listen, there's a statistic that's going out that said by 2030, half of the women between 25 and 40 will be single and will never marry. Wow. That's sad.
That is sad.
That is sad.
That's sad.
There's a lot of good men out there that women won't even look their way because they don't go to these. So my realtor, he put something on Instagram. It's like, if you're looking for a man that's taller than 5'10", no race, in good shape, makes over $100,000 a year, we're talking about all men. It's only 1%.
Wow.
So I took it as, I called all my buddies and was like, look, you make over $100,000, you don't have kids, and you're taller than 6 foot, you might be able to have 3 girlfriends now, buddy.
Oh, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that, buddy. We're not doing that. Listen,
I might have 4.
we're not doing that. We're not doing that to the ladies. And I said this earlier or yesterday on one of my lives. I said, please don't punish us good women for what the knuckleheads are doing. Like, some of us out here, we have our head on straight. We know what we want. We've worked on ourselves. We've done the dumb things. And I'm just baffled at the women that are my age who are still living in this fantasy world of things that really don't matter after 45. Like, some things just don't matter to me after 45. And I'm just like, why does that even matter to you? Like, a stable man, a mentally stable man is really your goal. Like, because these people out here, and women, because I'm learning that really, like, folks is not all, the elevator don't go all the way to the top. So if you can find a person that is mentally stable and self-sufficient, because a woman needs to come into the situation self-sufficient and mentally stable, and a man needs to come into the situation mentally stable and self-sufficient. Those two people come together, you have magic. They have worked on themselves. And I was thinking the other day, and I think I might have said it on the video, where let's stop bringing up the part of what do you bring to the table, right? Let's ask a better question, right? Because I think this is what men are asking. Women are always going to ask, what do you bring to the table? Because women are interested in finances and security, which is cool, because a man should do those things. But let's have the men ask a better question of, are you a asset or a liability? Not what you bring to the table, but are you an asset or a liability when it comes to my life? Not what you bring to the table. Are you going to diminish me? Are you going to diminish my finances? Are you an asset or a liability? Do you have ideas? Are you ambitious? Are you thinking about stuff? I don't need to know how much money you bring to the table. I need to know if you're an asset or a liability to me, because if you're a liability, I don't need you.
Well, she's not going to tell you that. You're going to have to figure it out. So the questions that you should be asking is, how good are you with money? How do you budget your finances? What's your credit score? Things of that nature. So you can it can paint a picture of where you are. So if most women make decent money, most women are smart with their money. So though that's not a hard thing. The mentality is the social media, the expectations. That's where it gets gray, is that you expect every man you meet to make $100,000 plus. That's not reality. It's just not reality for a lot of people. So the question is that if you make 75 and he makes 75, what is wrong with that? I don't understand with that. I mean, at some point in time, I was in a relationship. We both made decent money. It wasn't $100,000 a year. It was just decent money, and that was sufficient enough. And if you have your life and you are 100% responsibility for your life, and you're doing pretty good at life, and then you meet somebody and they're doing the same thing, and y'all join together, everything just got cut in half. Right. What's wrong? What's wrong? I don't understand what's wrong with that. It's like,
because people are not thinking of it that way. And like I said, that's why I'm not asking a man, what do you bring to the table? I'm really asking the question myself. Are you an asset or a liability to me? Because that's important to me. Because I'm okay. I'm okay. But if you come into my life as a liability, you're going to bring me down. You know what I'm saying? You're going to totally bring me down. And I don't need that right now. If we're both an asset in whatever area, and we're not even talking about how much money we got, and if we're both an asset to this relationship, that means we are adding something. Let me know what your value add is. When you go to a company, a job, and you give them your resume, and you sit down at that interview, they want to know, what is your value add? What value are you bringing to this relationship, to this company? So I think that when we sit down in relationships, it should be the same way. What is your value add? And it's not money. Everybody should be self-sufficient, but a value add. What do you bring to this relationship that's not here already? That I'm gonna be like, whoa, oh my goodness, I never even thought of that. That's a value add. That's an asset to me. When you come in and you like, listen, I see your company, Tray. I see you're an entrepreneur, and I see this, that, whatever. I know this skill that will get your company moving fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, you coming in, you're pouring into me intellectually. That's an asset to me. Like, and a woman supporting her man saying, I see your vision. I see what you're doing. Like, I'm gonna make sure when you get home tonight, food is cooked, blah, blah, blah. Make sure this is done. If you need me to go get your whatever you need done online, I did some research for the company. I know you started or whatever. I know your business is this. I did some research and I found out, you could get the pans for your restaurant a little bit cheaper from Restaurant Depot. You can get 20 pans. That's an asset when you start to do research for my company.
I tell my daughter all the time. I said, as a young lady, you have to recognize the difference between the men that you meet, the men that want to invest and pour into you, and the men that just want to have sex with you.
Ooh.
You have to identify that very, very, very quickly. And I've been in relationships with some women that didn't understand that, pouring into them, and then they lost it, and then they try to come back, and you're like, because you realize it too late, and it's like you need to do a better job of understanding when you're in the moment, when you meet a man that does listen to you, it pours into you, and takes time to want to see if you're okay. Regardless to that is not a quality that all men possess.
Right.
So if you have not had dealings with a lot of men, you don't know what a bad man is, and you don't know what a good man is. You think you do, but once if you meet a man that's done work on himself and he's healed and stuff like that, he's going to talk to you way different. And some women don't know how to receive that. I've had conversations with women that they shut down. They just don't know, and that's fine. But you have to understand there's men out there that are good men, and because they don't make money or they're not tall enough, or I mean, you're making your pool smaller and smaller and smaller.
Sometimes it ain't all about the money. Like, again, this is my thing. At our age, you have to be self-sufficient and established, not rich.
Yeah.
Nobody wants a bum. Nobody wants somebody that don't have nothing or that ain't doing nothing at this age.
Ain't taking on no projects.
Right.
So
right.
When I dated younger, I stopped talking. That's what got me out of the younger pool, because I was like, man, I don't want these projects. It's like, I told a young lady one time, I said, you're like a house that needs to be renovated, and I don't have enough money or time to do it. Oh, shit. She's like, what's that? What's that mean? I said, that's what I'm talking about. Shit just goes over your head. So I was like, it's not beneficial for a man where I'm at in my life to invest in somebody who doesn't have their stuff together.
Right. And I mean, that's vice versa. And that's why we're here for Generation X. There's a level that we should be at in our life where we are not a liability to somebody. And that's emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, where we're not draining somebody's happiness. Because when you're not who you're supposed to be in your life, you come in other people's life and you make them miserable and you drain them. You drain their happiness. And if you're not who you're supposed to be, no one can ever fill those voids except you. So that's when we got to be careful. And this morning on my Bible study, I was listening to a pastor, and he was saying, we got to be careful who we let in our space, because they'll drain us of the things that we have. They'll drain us of our happiness because they're not who they're supposed to be. So we have to be mindful of what that looks like for us. And we got to be willing to let things go at the right time. Like this chick, even though it's downtown, when you see something, you just have to understand this person is showing you who they are, and that's okay. And it's okay for you to walk away. Stop holding on to things that don't serve you the way that you want to be served. But we're not talking about shallow stuff either, like a man that's not tall enough. You just gonna miss out on the good brother. But we're talking about like shallow stuff. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about meaty stuff that matters to you. that you know you need this in your life to be happy. So, oh, our final words, Lamar. I just looked at the clock.
Final words. It's I wish more people would work on themselves, and definitely men would challenge themselves to lead, and women would live in their femininity. And I think as society, we are getting so far away from that. And I just would like to see people just take some time. If you go through a breakup, if you're doing, take some time for yourself, work on yourself, get the counseling, do what you need to do. Because going forward, you're not going to be good for you or the next person if you don't take care of these issues and stuff like that. So it's like mental health is such a big thing, you know, in our society now, but a lot of people don't do the things. People want to talk about it, but you don't want to be proactive and do the maintenance on yourself to be, you know, the best version of yourself. So again, take some time for yourself. It's okay to be alone. Go through the process to heal so you can work on yourself to become a better version, so you can have that happiness why the first relationship didn't work.
Wow. Yes. And we have Cliff over here who's one of our regular viewers. Hey, Cliff. And Cliff said, hey, friend, tell Lamar I apologize. I think I was rude to him one night. I think he might have put a rude comment in.
Oh. So, okay. Thank you.
He said, thank you. Oh, he heard you. So,
appreciate it.
Yes, it's okay. Listen, we are here to have these hard conversations so that while we're moving forward in life right now, for those of us who are single, those who are dating, and those of us who are married, we can glean from this to repair our relationships if we're married, because we're not here to tear relationships apart. We're here to unify Generation X couples, Generation X singles. And Lamar said the main thing that we'll end on tonight is that if you are the best version of yourself, you can't go wrong. And you have the right to let go of people who are not trying to be the best version of themselves. And they will show you, they will say it, they will tell you with their own mouth, by the words that come out of their mouth, by the behaviors that they have. And you just have to be grown enough to say, I'm not going to let anything disturb the work that I've done on myself. If you are not the best version of yourself, I have to make you take 2 steps back. And if you decide that you want to be the best version of yourself, there's space in my life for you. But until then, bye-bye. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in. Again, we're here every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the New You Nation Network YouTube channel. The name of our show is Looking for Love, and we talk about all things love, Gen X. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the bell so you get the notification when we come on Wednesday at 8 p.m. It'll bing you so you won't miss us. So we thank you guys again. If you want to send a question, please send it to info@traykearney.com, and we will take your questions. Or you can DM us. I am on Instagram at Tray Kearney. I am on TikTok at Tray Kearney 26. Lamar is on Instagram at
MAR_T_Hall 13.
So if you want to, the fellas, if you feel more comfortable sending your question to Lamar, send it to Lamar. Ladies, if you feel more comfortable sending it to me,
I ain't never got a question.
Send your questions to Lamar. Don't send the men.
Send me a question. I want to say, I've never gotten a question before.
Send him a question, and he'll read it. I don't have to read everything. I ain't got to do all the stuff. So we love you guys. Good night, and we'll see you next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the New You Nation Network YouTube channel for Looking for Love. Peace and blessings.